Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Richie Pepperfield along with Kyle Schneider, and this is the video game edition of the Guys of the Galaxy, and it's the first episode.
That's right. The first episode of hopefully many more of video game talk. It seems like we're just continuously stacking more stuff on top of ourselves here. We had 3 and now we have 4, but you know what? We love these things so much that we would love to dedicate their own podcast each week to each other. So yeah, we got video game talk episode 1. Peps, like we do with all the other podcasts, we got some breaking news to
Oh,
dissect
we
here.
do.
Are you
Video
ready for me
games, in a time
to
like this, we have some
yeah.
news.
You ready for me
Well,
to spew
lay
off
it
some
on me.
things? All
Lay
right.
it
So
on me.
first off, The Last of Us 2. Okay, Last of Us 2 was supposed to release this summer.
Us too?
The Last of Us 2. Yes, was supposed to release this summer, and then due to the coronavirus, it got moved to, I'm pretty sure, the fall. But guess what? It got moved back to the summer. It's coming out this June. I'm excited. I just recently played The Last of Us, the first one. I got it when it came out, but I never completely played it. I got stuck on one level. I couldn't finish it, but I had it from a PlayStation Plus a couple months ago. They gave it away for free. I downloaded it. I just had it. And recently I played from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. and the next day I thought I was gonna die, not even playing.
I
So,
remember that day. It was a tough day for you.
it was a very bad day. Last of Us 2 release date was moved and then moved back to, I don't know if it's the original date, but it's definitely coming out this June. Along with that though, apparently we got some bad news on the sense that an employee that works for Naughty Dog decided they wanted to be a bad sport and they wanted to try and leak some spoilers from the game. I do not know what said spoilers are. I do not want to know what said spoilers are, and I will not tell you what said spoilers are. But I just did want to cover the fact that somebody did leak some spoilers for The Last of Us 2. So if you are a fan of The Last of Us and you are keeping up with it on social media, Reddit, Twitter, stuff like that, just be careful because you might stumble upon some stuff you don't want to stumble upon. Obviously.
Of course.
Second piece of news. This is both of our meat right here. This is what brought us both together, brought us both to the table. Professional wrestling, WWE, that's our thing. They really badly messed up 2K20 to the point
It was
where
the worst game I've played in a long
it is a
time.
very bad game.
Second worst. The 2K15 with Cena on the cover was a really bad game.
See, I
Both
don't think it's
editions,
that bad, but
PS3 and PS4,
2K20 to me is an absolute horrible game. I'm very upset with what they've done.
equally bad.
But that's not the news. The news is WWE and 2K are coming out with a game called Battlegrounds. Apparently this is their we're sorry for 2K20 situation. But you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. I love you 2K. I love you WWE. But this is not an I'm sorry. Because an I'm
This
sorry.
is a 2K20.5. This is
Yeah.
hot garbage to me.
If it was a I'm sorry, we would have some sort of game coming out that has a GM mode, has a legitimately great story, has everything we want in the 2K game. This to me is not, and I'm sorry, this to me is them wanting to do what they've wanted to do all along. If you notice, the past 2K games have had all this goofy,
Big
funny
head
stuff,
mode and
Minecraft heads and stuff like that. So now they're pretty much just making a game based on that. And I'm gonna be honest, I will get the game, but I'm only gonna get the game probably when it goes on sale. To me, this is the All Stars 2, but it also I don't want to even put that on it because All Stars was a great game, and I don't want to be disappointed by the Battlegrounds by saying this is All Stars 2. But I will pick it up. I will try it out, but I'm definitely not getting it if it's $60 at release. I will be waiting until that's probably at least $30 to pick that up.
yeah, so for me, that would be a game that if Redbox still rented games,
Yeah.
I would try out because I know you said you liked All Stars. When I first saw the big guys, I said, I could play because I always liked the idea of the games like Legends of Wrestling, which kind of were they kind of look bulkier, like different character
Yeah.
graphics
And again,
and
those
stuff.
are games that are very nostalgic, but also are not good games.
Yeah, so I figured they were old, the controls weren't good, but when I saw All Stars and people say if they did in the rock bottom and they would do a flip or they would jump 30 feet in the hot sky, what is that? I haven't even got to the gameplay,
I'll
but
tell
when
you
they
what
hit
that
the
is.
moves, don't do a flipping pedigree. What is this stuff?
Peps, I'll tell you what that is. You know what that is? That's indie wrestling in 2020. That's what it is.
Yes, but like no one does a flipping pedigree. You know, like some of this stuff, it just was stupid. Like if you want to be arcade Street Fighter, go be arcade Street Fighter. Like,
Yeah.
but you come out as a $20 game. Like that's what that is. It's
Mhm.
cheap, and like I'll buy that maybe when it's in the $10 rack.
Well, to me, I base this on like a game that's $60, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was $60. That is pretty much the greatest game of like all time, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
that's not even my personal. That's just like a
I think
just
it's the
known
greatest
thing.
selling game, and
Yeah.
then
That came out. It was $60, right? So to me, and I could be wrong here, but this is just my opinion. To me, if you're going to sell your game for $60, it has
that's what.
to. I'm not even saying it has to be on par because I don't even know if anything can touch GTA 5, but it has
Yeah,
to be
that's
good.
not
You know what
fair.
I'm saying? Because then, why would I spend $60 on your game when I could save that $60 and I'll buy Grand Theft Auto 6 in like
Mm,
2 years when it comes out? You know what I'm saying? So to
yeah.
me, if you're gonna drop a game for $60, it's got to be worth it. And 2K20 was not worth it. I paid more than $60 because I got the collector's edition. So I paid like 100 and something, which was
But
sad.
do we also know the rough release time for this game?
I
Is that
think it's this fall.
so? Generally, like I would say with any fall release, that nothing is a must besides early NBA games when they come out in August, because before they have any mega sale, like it's holiday season, the only time you can get these games ever cheap
Mhm.
is for Black Friday, and it's
Yes.
not like it used to be where people attacked and
Well,
like
so
not
so so
everything was out in an
Peps. Let's
hour.
let me just say something real fast, ladies and gentlemen. What's about to happen here? I don't know if anybody's ready for. Um, but Richie Pepperfield, Brendan Murphy himself, sitting right there, he's about to get into his Black Friday theory. And I know we had discussed maybe doing this in the podcast, but now that you're already talking about it,
It
I'm
has to
pulling the
happen.
trigger. So, Peps, what is your Black Friday theory? And we'll let
Okay.
the viewers decide if you're a psychopath or not.
First of all, this is one of my rants, but first of all, with Black Friday, most games come out in the holiday season, and most people go out and they like I see them like idiots. They go on and they pre-order WWE most of the time for $60, like that piece of trash 2K20 was. They do it, and it comes out in early October.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Black Friday is really only about 4 weeks later. And like I bought 2K20 for like $25.
Mhm.
And like I didn't miss out from anything than anyone 4 weeks earlier, but yet I bought it for less than half the amount. So like I used to have friends like back home when living in Massachusetts, and then maybe when I first got here and was like, oh, how do you have those games? Like they're like, I only bought like one game this year because it was $60. I'm like, well, I paid 20 for Assassin's Creed, 25 for WWE, and 30 for like Call of Duty. So like realistically, I only paid like $10, $15 more than you. I just waited 4 weeks.
Mhm.
Like if you can wait 4 weeks, like usually Call of Duty is always in any end cap and Best Buy, Blockbuster. I pretty much well, not Blockbuster. What am I saying? GameStop.
That was going through my head. I was like, hold up, wait a second.
I go through the things and I go, okay, Target's got this one for 39, but Walmart's got it for 20. I'm
Mhm.
going to Walmart for these three games, these two games over here. And there's sometimes, especially when I was in New Hampshire with no sales tax, I was just coming back with 10 games for like $250 when normally that'd be $60 price. So like any of these games, the only game that I ever make an exception to is like last year NBA came out. It's one of those games where it's kind of like if you get ahead and being a certain level and have all the badges, and they had the D Wade cover, so it was like $80, and it killed me to pay $80 for.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
one of those things like it doesn't go on sale to about like past December, anyways. And it doesn't really go.
everybody has everybody has those certain games or franchises that it's like no matter what you will buy it. So like for you it's NBA. For me, I kind of have a
It
bit
comes
more
out too
because
early though. It comes
for
out in
me
August.
for me it's like I have to buy the WWE game, which now I kind of got bit this year, but I have to buy the WWE game, and then I also if it's a Star Wars game I have to buy it, and if it's like Grand Theft Auto I have to buy it immediately.
But
Those
I
are the
feel like
three when I see it, like whether it's any sort of WWE game, any sort of Star Wars game, or like the next Grand Theft Auto, I have to get it the day of, because that's just me. I want to play those games. I'll spend the extra money. I'm not waiting until Black Friday to get it or
well,
something.
WWE is probably the only one that it comes out right before. So it's like
Mhm.
I can wait 4 weeks. Like if when I was in school, when I was working, I'm like, I'm only gonna get like 3, 4 days to play it before it's cheap anyways. And at this point, I've played all these exhibition match. I can play 19. It's actually a better game. I can go play all the old ones like we still have. they're better. And like no new game is like, hey, I have a GM mode, and you're like, fuck, I need it now. But like, I'd rather have $30 extra in my pocket.
Let me also add
No.
Saints Row to that list, obviously. Um, but last piece of news here.
I actually
Battlefront
have a
2.
piece of news after you're done too.
Oh, you do? Okay. Battlefront 2
So go ahead.
has put out an update. It is the Scarif update. Basically, you go in. Again, free update. Battlefront 2 has had all free DLC pretty much. And so basically, what this update is Scarif from Rogue One is the planet. They added into the game. They also added 5 new skins. One is Palpatine from The Rise of Skywalker in his like red robes. One is Rey with her hood from The Rise of Skywalker with her hood up. One is Rey with her hood down and her brand new lightsaber, like the yellow gold lightsaber. One is Kylo Ren's hooded Rise of Skywalker appearance, and the last one is Darth Maul's old master skin from Star Wars Rebels when he's an old man. They confirmed this is the last update that they're putting out for Battlefront 2, which is kind of sad because I've had this game since 2017, and I've genuinely enjoyed them consistently putting out updates every couple of months and adding either new characters or new skins, new planets. So it's a little emotional and sad to see the end of the run here. And then on top of that, they also not only did they stab me in the heart, they also twisted the knife by saying that they have no plans for a Battlefront 3.
Yeah.
Which is also sad because I was looking forward to a Battlefront 3, but apparently there will not be one. But going back to this Battlefront 2 update, I do want to kind of rant a little bit.
Do it.
So I said they added 5 skins. 3 of the 5 skins are completely free. They're already unlocked. That is the Kylo Ren skin with the hood. That is Palpatine's skin from Rise of Skywalker, and Rey's skin, her with her new lightsaber. The hooded version of her, which does not have new lightsaber, it's the hooded version of her with the Legacy lightsaber, the Anakin/Luke lightsaber. That one and Darth Maul's skins are locked. The way you unlock Rey's is actually pretty easy. For those that don't know, I'll explain it for you. You go into Takodana, you go to Maz's castle, and it has to be a game mode where the castle is open. You go upstairs. In the room, you will find a photo of Hondo Ohnaka. You shoot the photo, a coin will pop out. You pick up the coin. Then you have to go over to where the slave one is. There's 3 objectives. There's 3 things. You hold square, square, square. Then you go back to the castle up top. You jump on the Stormtrooper flag, hold square, and that's how you unlock her skin. It means nothing to her actual story or anything. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. But it is cool because it's different. So that's how you unlock that skin. The Darth Maul skin, this is where the rant begins. Darth Maul has no other skin. He has his main skin from the game, which is his Phantom Menace appearance. And then the last update, they just now added a new skin for him. So everybody's been wanting this skin, and I'm not the only one that's upset about the situation here. But basically, to unlock that skin, you have to get 5,000 kills as Darth Maul, which is obviously not impossible, but it's kind of a ridiculous challenge, at least in my opinion. And I know, Peps, you agreed with me when I told you this.
It's terrible.
To wait that long for a skin for a character that you're playing in a game to then have it behind a 5,000 kill wall is kind of ridiculous and kind of annoying. So yeah, that's just my short little rant on the Battlefront 2 update. It is fun. I've enjoyed it, but the whole Maul skin situation is a little ridiculous to me.
You got the rant out?
Yeah,
Feel better?
I'm good. I feel myself
Okay.
getting hot. So
The only thing I wanted to do, I saw it last night, but as we know, as PlayStation users, anyone out there with a PlayStation, the games this month have been Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2.
Oh
Of
yeah,
course-
we actually we have this one and another piece of news. It's just for some reason the write up that I'm looking at doesn't have those 2 pieces of news on it. But go ahead, and I'll cap it off with the other one.
Okay. What I was saying is those 2 that have been the April games, they obviously will come off, as now it is May at time of recording. It comes off, I think, about May 6th. But as it's rumored and leaked out to be, because they will come out probably soon, it might be on the website soon. We're getting 2 simulation games. I'm a little upset with this. It looks like we're getting City Skylines and Farming Simulator 19.
Yes.
2 games that I don't believe should, especially Farming Simulator 19. I don't think that they really should have a game. I don't think I need to be simulated of how to be a farmer. I don't know how you feel.
Game for everything, man. To me,
yeah.
I look at it as Farming Sim. I'm gonna obviously download both as if you have PlayStation Plus, um, add them to your library no matter what, and if you have the space, download them because like I have a 2 terabyte hard drive. Peps has something
4.
similar.
Yeah.
So it's like just download them anyways because again they're free games and you never know. You may end up becoming a fan of the games. You might have somebody come over that's a fan of the game, something along those lines. So if you do have PlayStation Plus, no matter what the game is, download the game or at least save it to your like
Yeah.
library.
If you save it to your library, you could be dating someone, you could have a roommate and they go, "Hey,
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play this farming simulator game," and you're like, "You know, I do have it in my library. I can
yeah.
just download and you can go play it.
So
It's free.
definitely add it to your library at the least.
Doesn't hurt."
But I will say, Farming Simulator, I'll give it a shot. But obviously, I don't necessarily care. SimCity Skylines, though, I am kind of excited for. I've never actually really played one, but I have watched gameplay on them for years, and they do look kind of interesting. So now that I'm getting it for free, I will get it, and I will probably enjoy it, to be honest. But I will say I did read a thing, Peps, and you'll probably be not happy about it, but you'll probably agree with it. There are a lot of PlayStation players and users that are signing a petition to change the games before they are released because they do not like this month's games.
Well, the maze games.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will join them on that because I saw something that was actually a couple days ago of Dying Light and Dark Souls, I believe,
yeah,
and
I saw that too, and
obviously,
I don't know if it was real or not.
I double checked a more recent source, and I also had seen on Snapchat last night. That's what made me think of this real quick, but I completely obviously forgot, like I tend to
Yeah,
do. But a typical person who talks about gaming and stuff was like, "These are your main games," and I saw them as simulation games. I was like, "Oh, that's dumb." Like,
mhm,
I mean, I like simulation games, and now as I keep talking, I'm thinking of other things. But I don't know if you've heard of this other thing. Is that they're bringing Planet Coaster to the console this summer?
yeah, yeah,
I
which
keep
I'm
looking
excited for.
for a date because obviously I've been talking to you about getting a gaming computer
Mhm.
just pretty much for this game,
Yeah,
and I know it's
you
probably
you
gonna.
do own it. You do own it. It's just
I own it,
your
but my
computer's not
computer's
that great.
one trash, and it's a
Yeah,
Mac. Not that it's a bad Mac. It's my cat broke it, and
mhm,
then my other one is too outdated to handle the game. So I bought the
yeah,
game for PC, and I would like to play it because I know people can create great things for it. And as a
yeah.
theme park person, I want to do that. I don't know if we're gonna get that kind of content on a console though. Like, how
Um,
many of the tools are gonna translate and port
yeah.
over? But I'm worried about are people going to be building Magic Kingdom and all the properties into and say, "Hey, download this."
Well, that's the thing.
You
You
know,
have to think like on the PC, that stuff is run by Steam and the Steam Workshop. But
yeah,
on the console, there is no Steam and Steam Workshop. So if it is a thing, it'd be something Planet Coaster has to put in themselves into the game. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
it would have to be like a community creations that they run or that they have somebody run pretty much. But
Hmm.
yeah, there's no Steam Workshop on like consoles. So
So maybe we almost have a good episode with that once that gets closer. But
yeah, and I think we'll both
that
end up picking that up for sure.
I'm picking up, and that goes against my code because it's a summer game. I
Yeah,
may pick up that right away just because of the fact of
and
how
hopefully it's not
badly
60.
I don't care because I've literally been trying to buy a computer to play the game that I had bought and now have nothing to play it on.
Yeah.
So
I will say
I
though,
don't have
if
anything else.
I have another piece of news, but I will say
Okay.
if somehow this ends up getting changed and they end up using Dying Light as the May games, I already have Dying Light, but um I will like that because then you can download it and we can play together, and that's a great game to play co-op for sure.
Yeah. I think Dying Light is that like zombie game, right?
It's like a zombie parkour survival game.
Okay, I have that hard disk.
Oh, you do? Okay, well then we
Yeah.
might just have
So
to play that in general.
yeah, I have it. It just was one of those things. Like my friend had it, and he kind of was over it by the time that I got it. But it was like
Yeah.
it's fun. It is what it is.
Mm.
So it's one of those things. I feel like if we can do co-op, kind of like how it leads into how you can do co-op on the game in our showcase today,
Yes.
um, then that will be a game that I will do just because of the fact of to game chat with you and
Jack
co-beat
can
something because it's
get
not.
on it too,
Oh,
so we can have
is it
three
more
people.
than two for co-op?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good. Well,
So
Skinny Britches is gonna have to play.
yeah, we might have to play that tonight after we hop off this. But last piece of news, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was announced. This is the next chapter in the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Hmm.
I'm not a very big Assassin's Creed guy. I think I played either 2 or 3. I played one of the Ezio games. And that was pretty
No,
much it. I did have the American one and I had the pirate one, but I legitimately both of them played about one mission and then never touched them again. So this is more your thing,
Yeah.
but
So he's
I
talking
will
about 3
say
and Black Flag. Everyone out
yes.
there.
I will
Correct.
say I do like kind of the Viking aspect, so this may be one of my like Black Friday pickups whenever that Black Friday comes around when the game comes out. I might pick it up on a Black Friday or have it
Do
as a
you
Christmas gift
do
kind
you
of
want
thing.
to hear my second spiel of Assassin's Creed games on Black Friday?
Sure.
So that game tends to be $60. When you come
Mhm.
to Black Friday, it's usually $40. Now
Yeah.
it's a story type game. You
Mhm.
haven't played most of those games. I
Yeah.
always buy last year's Assassin's Creed games because I mean everyone knows for a while they were starting to get stale.
Mhm.
Ever since Flag, they came out with I don't want to say it was Unity right away, but I think it was Unity. But so the one that was the French Revolution came out next. That brought in a lot of good the gameplay was a lot more smoother. But after that, like the twins,
That was
I'm trying
Syndicate,
to think
I
of
think.
Syndicate was the next one. So Unity, Syndicate. That one I still liked. The story wasn't as rich. It was kind of cool going between two characters, but sometimes it waters it down.
Mhm.
And then they did Origins. I didn't like the one in Egypt. And
Mhm.
then they did the other one. Oh god, I'm drawing a blank on the name. But so they were knocking them out so quickly, and so I just was like, I was buying them at like $40 because they were cheap. But I was like,
Mhm.
I have like 3 Assassin's Creeds I haven't played. Like I still have a little
Yeah.
bit. Finally beat Ezio one. I finally got to my Black Flag one, but I'm like, I already have the Twins one. I haven't touched the one. Like I kind of played the beginning of the French Revolution one just to get my feet wet. I was like,
Mhm.
I have all these stories and books untold. So I was like, I am not buying a new one because by the time I bought it at $40 and then started getting halfway through it, the games were selling for $14.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna buy last year's game because now with trying to get on and me and you, we play all these like I play NBA a lot or we play Call of Duty. Like you're playing these routine games like that daily like things that are interactive multiplayers. But then you put your story stuff to when you're just on by yourself. So it's like, why would I buy the new one at $40 when I can just buy last year's one at $14, $20? And then so that's kind of my thing with it. I've always called it the Assassin's Creed Black Friday day. I always get last year's model.
There you go. Well, there's Pep's second rant for the day.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't get me started on breakfast today. That one's saved for another episode. That
we're all
might be
good.
a whole thing.
That's
I
probably
already
a 3
talked to
o'clock episode
Dante
for sure.
about that today. So
All right.
DMC,
So
if you're listening, I'm covering that on a future show in
there you
James
go.
Legend and
Okay.
Blanco.
All right. No
Okay,
listeners
so
probably even know who they are.
can I
But
throw it? Is
yeah,
that the
throw it,
rest of the
please.
news?
Throw it, please.
Anyways, so our news that was the meat today. I didn't think it was going to go that long, but
Yeah, I
we're
didn't think it was
covering
either.
a lot of stuff.
We got some extra
Things
meaty
just keep
stuff for
coming
now.
up. Okay, but so another meat part of this because it's
Yes.
near and dear. I was talking about it.
This is my favorite type of
Our
meat right
game
here.
showcase. Shut your face. Our game showcase today. It was a lie to me when I bought it. It said the game had trophies. It didn't, but the game was still amazing. It is Saints Row 2, and it had one of the best co-op stories ever. Where I didn't get how it works sometimes, but where I was at and where Kyle was at, sometimes didn't give someone credit, but then we got to the same level and we both got credit, and the cutscenes changed with us. Kyle, I'm going to throw it to you because this was a great game. Go ahead.
Well, to me, this is not a great game. To me, this is the greatest game of all time. To me, this is my favorite
Ooh,
game.
you said GTA 5 was
No,
the
no, I
greatest
said
of all
that
time.
in a general sense is probably the greatest of all time. This
Okay.
is my personal favorite of all time. This is my personal greatest of all time is Saints Row 2. Um, the story behind me and Saints Row 2 is my parents would not let me play GTA when I was younger. Um, so one time I had a friend over. He basically asked me if I had GTA. I said, "Nah, man, I can't play that, so I don't have it," kind of thing. He said, "What about Saints Row?" And I said, "I don't know what that is." And I called my dad up. My dad owns a pawn shop, and I said, "Dad, do you know what Saints Row 2 is?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll bring it home." He must have not known it's similar to GTA, something along those lines, because he brought it home, and that was the end of it for me. So technically, I played this before. I played this in depth before I even played like a Grand Theft Auto game, to be honest. Uh, yeah, this to me is just the greatest game of all time. Like the ability to have your own custom character was awesome. The ability to own like properties and own like every like an apartment almost on every like in every district was incredible. The cars were incredible. The story is incredible. I've played that story probably about 10 times, not even joking. So to me, Saints Row 2 is the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, I think a lot of good points there. what I liked about the owning places because I feel like sometimes when you play the GTA stuff, it's kind of very cold. Like you bought a house and it
Mhm,
just gave you a safe spot out front and a place to put your car. But
mhm.
these ones, like you go in and you can make your place a pit pad or like your main base. As you prolonged and got somewhere in the game, it got better
It
and
also it
nicer.
prolonged with you, yeah.
Yeah, it got better with you, and it was kind of cool. It was like one of those things. Like, I remember when my friends got the game because obviously, like I said, I played co-op with EJ, one of my buddies at the time. Uh, we pretty much got to a point, and he's like, "Hey, my thing changed. My layer got changed over. It
Yeah,
was
the
different." And it's like, yeah,
purgatory.
when you get to a certain point, it changes with you.
Mhm,
And one of the cool things I think is like most of the villains like, over in the GTA one, they're kind of just straight up villains. And these ones, they have literally gimmicks and
yeah,
characteristics. Like it's kind of one of those things like stereotypical or of more of
mhm,
their types. Like you have like luchadors in some games. I think that's three.
yeah.
Um, you have the luchadors, but like and over here you have like if they're like the green guys,
Well, in 2
you
you
probably know
have
the groups better.
yeah, so in 2 you have the Ronin, which is, basically the Japanese gang. Is very, like, tear accentuated, like, it's the father on top, the son right on the bottom, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, they have that,
Don't they have
they're very,
like the Japanese cars with like the
yeah,
lights
they're the
and
ones that
stuff
have,
like
like, the
modified?
Japanese, like, race car, stuff like that. That to me was, like, my favorite gang just because I love their look, I love, like, the samurai sword, love the cars, so that to me was my favorite gang. So you have the Ronin, you have, the Brotherhood, which is, basically they're, like, the monster truck, badass dudes with, like, somehow professional wrestling, like, moveset if you ever fight them, and then you unlock also
Yeah.
their moveset. They're giving, like, Death Valley drivers and, like, rock bottoms and stuff. So yeah, the Brotherhood, they're like the trucker redneck kind of. They're not necessarily
Hmm.
redneck. They're more of a biker gang, but instead of bikes, it's more monster trucks.
Yeah. So I would say like they're Pasco County people.
Yeah, sure. Then you have the Sons of Somni, which is they're basically like the voodoo Jamaican esque gang. So
Yeah.
they have like they like have some weird like one of the dudes like the general dude has like weird powers like stuff like that because it's just very like voodoo
Voodoo. Yeah.
esque. And then also you had like Ultor, which wasn't a gang, but it was at the same time because they were just like the top company kind of thing that you needed to take out. So yeah, that's pretty much all the games. I might be missing one, but I don't know if
I
I'm
always felt like it was like three per. You
yeah.
know,
It normally
I'm
is.
trying to remember because I remember playing the first one, and I think there was a gang I liked as well in there. Whether it was a, I didn't love it because you didn't talk in the first one, and I felt like it
Yeah,
was a huge letdown when I started playing, and they would just like look at you, and you kind of were that quiet
you're just standing there. Yeah.
protagonist that just kind of like nods or like, yeah, he doesn't talk much.
Which
That's
I'm
like
actually
couldn't give me like
I never played one. Like I played one, but I never played it all the way through.
me
Um,
neither. I had it, I
so
just
I
didn't love it.
basically I have it. Like I'm a big video game guy, so I have pretty much every system from my childhood almost. So I have a 360. I have the first Saints Row, but I'm gonna be honest, it's so like kind of glitchy and like um the fact that like it seemed like an unreliable game to me because I would be playing and like I'd be doing a mission and I would like fail the mission. I'd be on my third try and I'd be like almost done and then the game would freeze.
Of
And I was
course.
just like, so I'm still on my gameplay of that because I kind of had to give it a break because I was like, A, for some reason my 360 is just very loud. The disc spinning is just like ridiculous. The fan noise is ridiculous.
Hmm.
The graphics and stuff are not obviously as great. So I had to
No.
take a little break on the first Saints Row, but I do plan on finishing that one day.
But like speaking of that, the I was gonna say the soundtrack in that second game was fire. I mean, if you want to
Oh
cover
my,
some of your favorite songs,
oh
you
my
brought them up the
God.
other day because the
Yes.
when you start the game, obviously like you said, it was like it's kind of like gangster music, but like the theme it just fit the game. Like
Hmm.
it's such a good feeling game, and with that like gangster tracks that would play, but like the when you got into it, like the rock tracks kind of surprised you. You
Yes.
wouldn't expect it from this game.
So I'm looking up the soundtrack right now so I can remember pretty much all the songs that I knew. But to be honest, again, I was pretty young when these came out. And basically, this is like my introduction to a lot of bands. In reality, this is my introduction to Paramore. This was my introduction to Panic at the Disco. So yeah, they definitely had me there. So let's see, they had
I think
just
Red
for the
Jumpsuit
lines.
Apparatus too, hands
Uh,
down. Or
I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna be completely honest, because again, like I wasn't that much into rap or rock or anything like that. I was into the like the pop music or something like along those lines, kind of.
big Miley Cyrus fan, I know.
Yeah, totally. Um, I'm just trying to find these songs here. So, Peps, if you can fill the air here for me while I try to
Yeah,
find.
so I mean, yeah, I mean, it just fit the game. Like, I think when you think back on these games, not only are the stories important, but when you have a good soundtrack, that resonates with people because you spend most of your time in a vehicle here. So
Yeah,
when we look back at like GTA 4, obviously Vice City was a really good one that had a lot of good 80s songs in it. I think they said that a lot of times the Liberty City game wasn't one that actually had a killer soundtrack, but I always kind of listened to Laszlo on that talk channel. So
yeah.
sometimes
Laszlo
anything
is
on the
hilarious in
radios
GTA.
would. Oh yeah, on the third one, I never really had songs. Like there'd be one or two that maybe I would know, but
Hmm.
I usually listen to I think Chatterbox just because I would hear him say things. And when I was a teenager, and like hearing these things, I was like 12, 13, hearing like stuff that he's like cussing people out, saying stuff that if you were on the radio and
Yes.
talking bad, you're like, wow, what is this guy saying? Like this would be crazy on radio. Today it would be on Sirius radio.
Yeah.
Or podcasts. I mean, you know what those people say. But
Mm.
Vice City killed it. Uh, GTA 4, I loved it, obviously. But this game, I think by far, if you're talking about one kind of open world car game, I think this was the best soundtrack. And I
Yeah.
think the third one gives it a slight run for its money, but the second one killed it.
So yeah, I couldn't find like I found the list, but I couldn't find the songs. But basically, like again, Panic at the Disco had "Lying Is the Most Fun." I think Paramore had like
I think it had Misery Business.
"Misery
Right?
Business." Yeah. There was Final Countdown was in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Final
Yep.
Countdown was in there. Everybody Wants to Rule the World was in there.
Oh, what
Um,
is the other one in there?
Teenagers Scared the Living
I
Shit
need
Out
it.
of
The
Me.
one that's like I need a hero, right? Or was that
That
in
one was
three?
in three. That was in three.
That was in three, but that
Um,
one was the
that
perfect
one,
one when
yeah,
you're trying to save the girl at
at
the
the end,
end.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
But
that's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
Saints Row
Like they
Two
do
with
a really
two,
good.
man. They had a great
They,
soundtrack.
yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Saints Row, I really liked how they always kind of like two was kind of just straightforward, but three was a little bit over the top. I feel like they do a good job of presenting a similar but different game and feel than GTA does because
Mhm.
it just feels a lot more fun. The
Yeah.
fighting, the gameplay. I know some people thought three was over the top, but I thought it was exactly what I needed because was that five that came out the time? No, that was
Four.
before five. So
Yes.
four came out and it would
Five's not
rival
out yet.
three. And
Um,
so four was straightforward and kind of dingy in New York City. So when we were over in uh, the third game, I thought it was just so much fun. And I had the one with the bonus pack with Professor Genki stuff on
yes.
it. So
Yes.
like I had the thing where you could suck up people and shoot them, and I'm like,
Mhm.
two and three are just fun, you know. And after
Yes.
that, they got whack with the whole aliens and video game stuff. But
Yeah.
two
Four
was
is
a
where it
solid
went
installment.
downhill. Five is coming out. They confirmed five's coming out. I'm excited. I'm counting down the days. I don't know how many days I'm counting because I don't know when it's coming out. But I'm praying that they do it right. I'm praying that they take it back to their roots and have a little bit of fun, but no, go back to what they really were.
So I could be wrong, but at the beginning of two, the main character wakes up in a coma, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I mean, what if this was easy peasy? We're we know wrestling, we know storytelling. What if all four never happened? Because um, for a gang,
Mhm.
which to take over and be kind of like players and running the town, I get that. That makes
Yeah.
sense in three. But
Mhm.
to become president and have your Earth like destroyed,
Yeah.
like can we go to a point where I didn't finish four? Four never happened. The guy wakes up from a coma. Typical like Archer storyline right now. In the show Archer, if anyone watches it or doesn't, quick thing, at the end of I forget which season, maybe six or something, he gets shot, he's in a coma. So seven, eight, and nine are all like its own theme, like Noyor or on a jungle island, and there was another story. I think in space, yeah, space like 1999. So all these like seasons are in his head, so they can go completely different directions. But at the end of it, at the end of the season, it switches up and goes to a different theming, and people become different characters or good or bad. But
Yeah.
like this whole fourth installment would be funny if he just like woke up and they're like, dude, you had a bad dream. Are you good? And he's just in the mansion and something could happen, like simply like the tower gets blown up, they
Mhm.
lose all their power, someone came over, took all their assets, now they're
Yeah.
poor and they have to work back under.
So
And then you go, cool.
my thing would be, to me, the greatest like video game map of all time is Grand Theft Auto 5's, right? But right below that, to me is Saints Row 2. I love Stillwater, so I would love to see a return to Stillwater and leave Steelport. I never really cared for Steelport. I kind of like the neon lights stuff like that. But other than that, I thought that map was very bland. I thought it was very like the same. It looked the same throughout pretty much everywhere you went. So
Hmm.
I'd like to leave Steelport and go back to Stillwater, please. That's one of my like
What
requests. You know,
if 5 has some way that they unite the two, like as if they're over a bridge, like a Golden Gate Bridge, like Oakland and
I mean that would be
San
cool if you
Francisco?
could fly from one to the other because
What if you can just drive? What if there's a bridge? What
I
if
don't
they
know if
do the
there is.
big thing, like the intro to the game is we built and finally connected the two?
I mean, I guess you could, as long as I can go to Stillwater and spend as much time as I want in Stillwater and as little time as I want in
Well, the map's
Steelport.
gonna be
I'll
bigger,
be
so
happy.
unless they come
This is
into a
true.
third city,
Mhm.
um, I
Which,
just
hey,
do
I'm
not.
also open to a third city, but I just don't want to be in Steelport anymore. That's the main thing. I didn't really like that map at all,
Yeah,
so I'd rather go back to Stillwater or they make a new city.
yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting, and obviously, when that breaks, that's gonna be one of the biggest breaking news since the
Yeah,
GTA 6 comes out. So,
and I can't wait. I cannot wait until we start getting news on both those games, and every week we just have something new. Like that's going to be a whole segment on
mhm,
this show. Is just what did we find out about GTA 6 or what did we find out about Saints Row 5 this
uh-huh.
week? You know what I'm
And
saying? And we're just gonna
anyone
go
who is watching any of Sam C's posts about what GTA 6 is doing, it's not true.
yeah, I don't. I
We'll
have.
let you know. We'll let you know before his
I've
post
unfollowed him on everything, so I
because
don't
he
even see
says
this.
something's true and it's going to be, oh, they're basing the game off in South Africa. What? Why would they do that?
Well, to the people that don't even know who Sam C is, um, well, A, good on you. Thank God. But if you do see a dude named Sam C for some reason posting on social media about GTA stuff, don't believe what he's saying because he doesn't know what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Simple as that. Good brother, but
But
you don't know about anything about GTA.
anyways, Saints Row 2, to me, the greatest of all time, the best game, my favorite game. Peps, what's your final verdict on Saints Row 2?
Oh my God. That was okay. You know me. I don't like to go back and play a movie over again, a
Mm-hmm.
game over again. That's the only one I beat the story mode. And then you, like, not you at the time, but I think 2 people hit me up when they bought it, and I had to, not that I had to, but I actually was obliged to go back and help them with the story mode because I said this was so much fun.
Yeah.
So for the fact of me doing that, if we I forget if we were doing this for games, but if we were to rate this game,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a 10 is necessarily possible, but I think I'm giving this a 9.5 for this game
I'll
out of
give it a
10
9.5 too, just because
because
I feel like 10. I feel like the number 10, the 10 out of 10 is something that has to be given to something that's coming forward. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That has to
but
go to a Saints Row 6 or 5 or GTA 6 type situation.
yeah, it's just one of those things. There's a lot of nostalgia there, so it's like it makes me want to do a 10 for it because of the times. Like you played it 10 times, I probably
Yeah.
played the storyline because I played mine through once. I played it through on a couple occasions through with other people. I
Do
played it
you
like on 3 different starts
do you have the game? Do you still have the game?
for my PlayStation 3. I do, yeah.
Can you go back and play it? Can I suggest that?
You can, but it leaks me into my other topic that we will cover, I believe, possibly next about my PlayStation 3.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
don't know if I
Well,
want to
I think
segue into this
that's
right
the great
now.
segue. We'll finish that up. Saints Row 2 to me, greatest game of all time. My favorite game. Peps gave it a 9.5. I'll also give it a 9.5. And we're very excited for Saints Row 6 when that comes out. But up next, let's talk about what we're playing, Peps. What are you playing? What am I playing? What are we playing
Okay, so the other day I
at the
felt
current
like
moment?
oh, what?
At the moment.
The other day I turned on and took the dust off the PS3. It,
Oh,
it is next to my PS4, so
yeah, to do the
shouldn't
whole.
be very too dusty. But I used it the other day, and of course I had to do an update.
Mm,
So when I did that, I actually went over to my wall and was like, I know what I want to play. Bringing it back, it's Assassin's Creed Rogue. So
okay.
real quick, if anyone doesn't know, Rogue is almost kind of like it came out at the same time as Black Flag, but it was the PS3 installment, and so it was the illegitimate love child, and it kind of was like a prequel. No, came out with Unity. I'm sorry, on the PS4.
Mm,
Was the prequel to Liberation. Actually, it might have been Black Flag. I don't remember. But it so up on the like Assassin's Creed 3, when you're in New England, you're working with that the one guy that's in kind of like that mansion. Uh in this one, it's many years before, so it's kind of like a bridge where you get what's going to be a future storyline, but like all the assassins that he's training there, he's younger, but you actually get to use boats.
Mm.
So I did think it came out of Unity, but it came out with a PS4 installment.
You said
I think
boats?
it was Unity. So yeah, so like Black
Okay.
Flag, it was
Yeah.
a PS3 game that incorporated the boat warfare that people liked in Black Flag.
So
So
like pirate ships or other types of boats?
so
'Cause I
you're
never
in
played
wooden
it.
ships.
Okay.
So it does do the same kind of thing where you can upgrade the boats. It's got the
So
side.
it's a pirate ship, but it's not a pirate ship, is what you're saying.
It's not in the Caribbean. You're up in New York. You're in Massachusetts. So
So it's a pirate ship, but it's not a pirate ship, is what you're saying.
it's practically it's not a
So
yacht.
it's a pirate ship, but it's
It's
not a
a
pirate ship, is what you're saying.
the boat is diversity. All right, it's an old wooden ship
Okay.
used in the New England colonial time,
Okay.
and it's a fun game.
Yes.
But being used to almost the late installments of a PS4, going to a PS3, and like running into like with the woods, you can almost see like where it becomes like, like 2-dimensional kind of, and you're like, oh well, these graphics are a little tough now. I should have played this game more back when it was a little easier to play. So probably going to get destroyed on where the placement of where the game gets come out. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Rogue is what I'm playing a little bit right now alongside the PS4 games. So
Cool.
bam, that's what I'm
That's
doing
about
right
it?
now.
All right. So
Try to keep it as short as possible.
I got you. Well, on my end, obviously I play Fortnite. That's kind of, I guess, the main game that I play. That's something that I'll, just play throughout the day or at night or something like that. But when it comes to games that also Battlefront 2 I've played because they have the new update that we discussed. So I've been playing that. When it comes to games that you would not think of or like not currently playing, not main games currently, I'm not technically playing any, but I am about to. A couple months ago, I got Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy, I think is what it's called. For it came out back on the GameCube. I'm pretty sure back then. And I had it, but I never played. I played again like most games I played when I was a kid. I played like 2 missions and I couldn't get past it. But I got it for $8 a couple months ago on the PlayStation Store. Everybody says it's got the greatest lightsaber combat in any Star Wars game ever. So I'm going to start playing that probably tonight. If we don't play Dying Light or something like that, then I'll probably start playing that. And then also, I never got to play this game ever, but I'm going to start looking into it. When I was younger, there was a online game called Star Wars Galaxies, Peps. I don't know if you ever dabbled in that.
Nope.
No? So basically it was kind of like World of Warcraft, but Star Wars.
Okay.
And basically it was like an RPG game, role play game. You create your own character. You can be a Jedi. You could be a smuggler, stuff like that. You could pick what planet you want to live on. You'd have your house. You can sell stuff. It's no longer active, but there are emulator servers that you can play it. So I'm going to start looking into that because I want to be a smuggler that lives on Coruscant and I want to kill people. So
that's fair enough.
That's my what are we playing? That's mine.
Okay, so that's one of our updated things of there to see what we're doing at this moment, and we are trying to deviate our days because I mean most of the time I have people trying to tell me to get on NBA all the time. My good friend Pat tells me explicit, get on. So I get on after he calls me such kind words. Pat, thank you very much. So besides that, I try to mix in a new game so we can discuss things. But so if we can move on to the next thing, would you like to segue in maybe?
What is the next thing?
The next thing we have up here, because we do not have a clip of the week right now,
No,
but
that
we
is something
do
we want
have.
to incorporate.
Yeah, we are going to incorporate clip of the week. I had a funny one, but I forgot to save it on my broadcast. I couldn't catch a layup, and my guy did a weird, like, Mad TV kind of, like, this is what I can do kind of thing. So I
Yes,
didn't get
you told
that
me
to
about
add in, but we will try to get some clips.
Yes, and I remember the last part here that slipped my mind. Again, a video game memory. So you went first on the theme park episode, right? So I'll go first here. Forewarning, this completely slipped my mind. This is something we had talked about, and then I totally forgot about. So this story came into my head about 5 minutes before we started recording this podcast. So my memory of the week for video games is going to be with Skate 3. Okay, another game,
Solid,
great game in my top 10 list. in my top 10 list for sure. And again, please make Skate 4 if we can get that trending on Twitter or something like that. That'd be great. But my memory comes from Skate 3, playing it on the PS3. The Hall of Meat. You remember the Hall of Meat?
I don't.
It's basically it would be challenges where you would throw yourself like off a building and you have to do a certain
Yes.
amount of
Yes.
damage or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah. Um, I can get mad at video games, but I never really rage quit and I never really like break anything or anything like that. But I had done every Hall of Meat challenge except for this one last one. And I had to hit like within like 3 minutes, I had to jump off of it, and I had to hit like 10 different things and do a certain thing to like you had to do like a certain move when you hit that certain like objective kind of thing. And I
Hmm.
could not get it in time. I was hitting the moves, everything, but I'd have like one or two left, and the time would run out or something like that. And I tried this so many times. I don't even remember if I finished it or not, but it got to the point where after like the 50th time of me restarting it and trying it, I threw my controller at the wall, and then it bounced down the stairs and broke. So yeah, that's my memory.
If only it was wired at the time, because that's what
Yeah,
happened. People
hmm
made them wireless. We started chucking them.
chucking them, and then mine fucking flew down the stairs and broke. So yeah, that's my
Damn.
my video game memory for the week. Probably the
Oh
first
God.
time I ever rage quitted.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Yeah, I remember a funny one that's not my memory, but I remember playing. Now that I said wired things, I had my PlayStation 2 downstairs, and I don't remember the process because you couldn't open your. Remember the PS2, that one? It was a draw. It opened up.
Yeah,
It like came out like a
yeah. You
CD
hit the
player.
button and it pulled itself out.
I must have been like changing the game or something because I remember it was open, and I had a bull mastiff at the time, and he was so sweet. He came and he kind of got like caught in the thing, and then pulled with the wire. He pulled the PlayStation down
Yeah,
as it was open,
that's
and
sad.
ever since then it died. Like you had to hit the PlayStation to get to go from a load screen. So
Yeah,
speaking of rage quitting, that wasn't my memory, but you just spurred that for me. I completely forgot about that.
and you rage quit? You got mad?
But PlayStation 2 was dead. I
Yeah.
had I got Tony Hawk Underground, and the good thing is it had very little load screens for the most part. But when it did, it was like I'd have to
Oh,
hit
I
it.
hate that when it hits when it does that. That happens to me sometimes with my PS2. But
Yeah.
did you end up getting a new PS2 or did you have to just deal with
So
it?
yeah, so that was my original PS2, the black one. I think it was I don't want to say a Fat Boy because that's a PS3. But then eventually, I
No,
think
they have the
PS.
thick ones and then they had slimmer ones.
So yeah, I had the thick one, and it
Yeah,
was
that's
good
what I
till
have
that
right now.
point.
Mhm.
Once that happened, the PS3s were coming out, and I was like, Mom, I have all these PS2 games. I still want to play them. So we got like the silver one for probably like 149.
Okay.
So I got the silver skinny one, and it's
Yeah,
just you
so
press the button, the top opens like
yeah,
my friends had.
when I was a
Um,
kid, I had the black skinny one and you hit it and it flipped open, but now I have the thick one that you hit it and the drawer comes out. That's what I have now.
yeah, and I always liked that concept better than when
Yeah.
my friend got the one where you just open. I was like, oh, that's cheap. It's like the PS1,
Mm.
So and now we have these nicer ones that just slides in.
Just slides in, it's beautiful.
So if I don't really have much to say about my memory, but we talked about earlier, it's a game called Blasto. It was developed by Sony. I guess it came out in like '98. It's definitely the game that when I got my first PlayStation 1 from Santa, I think it was like the first game I had. It's the only first game that I know that I had from a console. And when I looked it up right now, just a quick thing that it said, as well as it kind of like it was marketed heavily, but it didn't do well because people were so I don't know, just it was a harder game than they thought. And I always remember being young and like getting stuck on like level 3, and it essentially was like an intergalactical version of Johnny Bravo.
Mm.
So it probably was a making of the captain from Futurama, where he's
Okay.
always hitting on Leela and everything. But
Mm.
it was such a goofy game, and I remember my friends across the street, Alex and Adam, they were always like, "Yo, what about Blasto? We should play that." And I was like, "It's such a weird, goofy game. Like, just a single person, third person shooter, like weird game with levels." And I don't know if I can find it and try to play it because I still have a PS1.
I mean, yeah, you could probably find it on eBay.
No, I
One
own the
hundred.
game still. It's just
Oh,
if I find it, it might still be in Massachusetts. I may have it laying around,
gotcha. I
but
got
it'd
what
be
you mean.
really unique. But that was my first console game, and it was such a goofy game. It was a stocking stuffer for sure.
That's cool.
But that's my memory.
That's your memory.
my
Alright.
first game. Yeah, funky game. Maybe
Okay.
it'll be maybe it'll be what I'm playing at one point.
Maybe, hopefully, and hopefully Dying Light can be added to that list too.
Yep, I played that game. It is fun.
It
So
is
if that
great.
becomes the May game, I mean, you get it. I have it, a hard copy. It's in my living room. I know.
Yeah, I have it too. We can literally play it in 10 minutes right now.
Oh no, we'll be
Um,
playing NBA tonight.
Oh, of course. That's all he does, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what he
NBA,
says,
All-Star
he's
2.
playing, no matter what he says he's playing, he's only playing NBA. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
it's much better than Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, Fortnite, I just pick up, I die in 10 minutes, and I'm good to go.
Exactly.
But with that, I think we are coming to an end of our first video game talk. So, Peps, bring it on home, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first ever episode of the Guys of the Galaxy, the video game edition. As always, I'm Richie Pepperfield. Wait, you're on this side.
Schneider. Oh.
There we go. And maybe it's gonna be plugged here, but there will be all that stuff to follow us.
It'll be at the
Kyle,
end.
if you want to tell them, it'll be at the end.
Yeah.
Like us, follow us,
You're
share us
playing the wrong way, by the way.
this way.
No.
It's the opposite of what makes sense. No.
No, you're not.
The screen's not making sense. Okay, on my end, he's to my right.
Yeah,
So
not on my end. And my end is what's recording, so you got to.
So he's recording. So he's over there.
Yes,
he
there
is
you go,
going
buddy.
to be doing all these things. Plug,
Yes.
sign. Okay, you do the sign off now from here because I did it for
Okay.
the theme park one.
That is it, guys. First episode of the Guys of the Galaxy podcast. Talk some video games or video game talk. Me and Peps both don't even know the name. I gave it a name, and we both don't know the name. We both butchered it.
Every
But-
episode will change. This is the one that's based mostly, kind of entirely on Saints Row 2,
Yes.
but not mostly.
Saints Row 2, greatest game of all time, and that's how I'm ending the podcast. If you don't have it, get it, play it. Thank you.
Oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup, there's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup, there's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup.